Our guest tonight is a member of the Santa Cruz Arts Commission, a member of the General Plan Advisory Committee, and in general an all-around superhero. Welcome, Linda Bixby.
Thank you. Thank you. That's quite an introduction.
Nice to have you here.
Thank you.
So what do you think? What do you think should have gone in that space or should go in that space?
Oh gosh, I guess I would have had time to formulate a really intelligent answer to that question, but instead I was just marveling at your interviewing prowess.
Thank you. I get that a lot.
I think what should have gone there would have been a public space, a public park, a gathering place. I think we're really missing that downtown. Place to have live music, events, art shows.
And there was a push for that to happen, right?
There was. It kind of predated me, but it was I think after the earthquake, and you were probably here then.
I wasn't here after the earthquake.
No.
No, I got here. I was here only before the earthquake. After the earthquake, I haven't been.
And you never have been seen again.
We're short of that space. This is an interesting question that I'm going to put you both on the spot. That space is gone. They're developing it. Yeah. But it seems like we still do have a desire as a community for public space downtown, a plaza or some kind of piazza. Any thoughts? Any ideas where it should be?
Well, there's only so much space left, right?
Well, yeah, okay. That's why I'm asking.
Well, the only
what can we do?
Well, if we want it downtown, I mean, we have to decide it has to be downtown.
Right, yeah. Right. Some kind of node downtown.
A node. You have been hanging out with the general plan people. That's the telltale.
It would have to be, it could be the Ron Loud spot.
That's
too late.
Too late.
It's too late.
Development. That's actually a cool development.
Condos.
5-story condos.
I think that's going to be cool.
And it's less of a centralized spot also, so maybe it wouldn't be
You want to know what I think?
What?
The top of the Palomar building. Who wouldn't want to go hang out there?
Well, I would like to dance under all the cell towers.
I actually have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea? I thought you might.
Well, no, just that I think there is an opportunity to do something really important and great that somehow links, this is an original idea, but, that links the downtown Pacific corridor, Front Street corridor with the wharf, the beach boardwalk somehow, the river, something that gives people kind of a reason to gravitate from one of those spaces to another.
So many people. Go ahead.
You're talking about two different things. The river and then there's the wharf thing.
They're not that far apart.
No, they're not.
Really.
There's a lot to talk about that.
There is.
Now, let's talk about this. You're on the General Plan Advisory Committee. You've been doing it for 17 years now, right?
Oh, it feels like that. It just feels like that.
What the hell is the General Plan, Linda?
Okay, the General Plan, and you're the first person that's asked me that, really, over the last year and a half. No. It's kind of the blueprint that the city goes by in making its development decisions. It would be like sort of your life plan, only for the lives of Santa Cruzans from the perspective of municipal government. So it addresses things like transportation, housing, water, how are we going to keep cars and people circulating through town. It also has an arts and cultural and historic preservation component that's dear to me. But every city in California is required by state law to have a general plan, and it has to be updated every 20 years. So we are in the process of doing. Ours is a little bit tardy because the earthquake kind of put us behind schedule. But we're catching up now. We're literally crawling at a snail's. We're crawling forward.
Now, how large of a committee is this?
I think there were 16 of us appointed originally. We were all appointed by the City Council. Most of us represent one of the city's appointed advisory bodies. I'm there as an arts commissioner. We have representation from Parks and Rec, Water, Transportation, and then some community at-large members, and then all of the members of the Planning Commission are on it, and city staff from the Planning Department.
So you're working on what's essentially a 20-year-old plan to update it?
More or less.
For today's Santa Cruz?
Parts of it have been updated over time, little chunks of it, but yeah.
Now, how much updating do you find that it needs?
Like
lots. A lot of revision?
Yeah, a lot of revision. And it isn't just the revision to kind of bring things up to, modern planning language and contemporary thinking about the way cities are planned and the way services are delivered, but just also it's an opportunity to kind of get a read on the community and talk about the things that are important to us as Santa Cruzans and what are worth kind of carrying into the next 20 years.
So what's important to Santa Cruzans?
You know, I think the people in the previous video Man on the Street interview pretty much answered that question.
I don't know.
No, you know, it's all the things that you would imagine. They want to look around and see reminders of what the town was a long time ago. You know,
so we're stuck in the past.
We just want to look around and see things that reflect ourselves. We want to see ourselves reflected in our buildings and in our streetscapes and in our monuments and in our public art. And
do you find that there's a lack of willingness to change and evolve?
No, I don't think there's a lack of willingness to change. But what there's a lack of willingness to do is turn up for another meeting, and I completely understand that because Santa Cruzans are totally burned out on that. But it's an important thing to at least pay attention to, and it's going to be coming before the City Council at some point, and everyone will have lots of opportunity to talk about it. But we'd prefer to have everyone come and talk about it now while we're trying to put it together.
Before you write it.
Instead of waiting until afterwards and say, you want to do what?
Yeah.
So,
and they go, why weren't we told? And why weren't we involved in the process?
Right.
Well, you didn't involve yourself.
That's right.
So, of the few meetings that I've been to on this and the
very
the
few meetings, yes.
I've only been to, compared to you, Linda, I've been to like none. But
that's true.
The river seems to be a recurring theme, and I don't know if this was the same 20 years ago. Actually, I don't think it was so much because the last general plan came out of Vision Santa Cruz, which was all about rebuilding. But it seems like there's this thrust, this energy to do something with the river and get attention to the river.
There is.
Do you think that's going to go anywhere, or are we just going to talk about it?
Well, I do think it's going to go somewhere. You know, there are, as much as the general plan is, there are a lot of things that it isn't, and it isn't a funding source, and it isn't a project-based document. But it can identify interest areas and identify things that people value and that people want to see come to fruition in the decade or two to come. And I do think there is a lot of synergy and energy and interest right now around a lot of components having to do with the river. So transportation, people are using it more as a bikeway and a walkway, and there's going to be a great pedestrian bridge that's hooking it up and making it so that it's a circuit, and that'll make a big difference.
There's already been some progress there, right?
There has.
Was it SLURP? Is it San Lorenzo Urban River
I've never
Plan?
heard that acronym,
Project,
Jeff.
Yeah.
Why the sarcasm?
I think you just
Was
made
that
that
in the
up.
last video?
I'm sensing some animosity.
No, not at all. No, I'm here to be educated. I'm going to have some of my tea, and you can explain it to me.
Can I just throw out this radical idea?
Yes, please.
I was talking to Bruce Van Allen, who's running for city council and has been, I think, involved with the GPAC. I don't know. And
No,
not at all.
but the river plan.
But the river, his big idea for the town plaza is in the Trader Joe's parking lot, which I think is kind of cool.
And
build up above the parking lot and put a plaza there on the river. Is that completely wacky? I like the idea.
You mean build a second story and then have parking underneath?
Right, kind of where River Street goes through behind that. Build up there and have that be your plaza, kind of overlooking the river.
Adjacent to the parking lot.
Above the parking lot. Build it over the parking lot.
So the Trader Joe's parking lot
cool.
would be underground, basically. It would be above ground, but it would be covered.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't like that.
All right, forget it. Nix that. Sorry, Bruce, I tried.
No,
Well,
I
Chris
think
Cobb.
it should be a natural setting where people can flow in and out and walk down to the... You just made that up, huh?
I did not. I swear to God.
Okay.
I think it's actually a really good idea.
Chris Cobb, who's running for city council, also had a brilliant idea at the Downtown Neighbors Candidates Forum where he said we should build a deck behind Club Caution.
It's kind of the same thing.
I think it's funny. I don't know.
No,
it is
it's a
kind of the
good
same
idea.
thing, but
It's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
Jeff, when are you going to run for city
I think we can do
council?
better.